All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how I mixed bad drums or a bad snare for this particular tutorial. Let's go ahead and listen to what these drums sound like without the processing. Okay, now let's hear what they sound like with the processing. Okay, so as you can see, they sound a little bit better. Sometimes we can't really do too much when we have a poor recording or a poor performance, but we can definitely get some sound, or we could get a better sounding track. The first thing I did is let's go ahead and isolate or solo the snares. I'm going to go ahead and bypass everything that I did on the snare and the snare bottom. So the first thing on the track is a gate. The gate is basically taking care of the bleed from our other sound. Let's go ahead and listen to what it sounds like without the gate. Let's go ahead and enable the gate. And so as we continue in our chain, we start bringing that snare to life. The next thing we did on the snare is a bit of EQing. And topped it off with an LA 3A. Let's go ahead and play that. Kind of cleaning up some of those transients, and we are making the snare more prominent. Just so you can hear it in context with our kick and our snare, this is what that sounds like. Now, I have the snare and the snare bottom being routed to a snare bus. On the snare bus, I have a Pro Q3. I'm actually brightening it up a little bit just to give it some more life because these drums or these snares are very dull. I'm also adding in a max bass to bring in some bottom on those snares. A mag EQ for some color around the top end, and a 1176 with a fairly fast attack and a really fast release. Let's go ahead and play that all together. Now for this song, I decided to make this snare very, very tight because we had a lot of other elements and a lot of other problems around it. So finding the pocket of making the snare tight and out the way really helped the song. Next thing is a room reverb to liven these snares up a little bit. So this is basically what the reverb is doing. Now, I have that going into a drum bus. My drum bus has my kicks, my hi-hats, my toms, my cymbals. All of that is going through the drum bus. On that bus, I have a radiator for a bit of color, an EQ. This is just to analyze. I really didn't do anything on this EQ. A decapitator for some drive, and an SSL compressor just to glue those drums a little bit. See what that sounds like. Now, these are not the best sounding drums. They weren't tracked very well, but we come across problems and we come across issues when we receive tracks that don't sound so good, and this is what we have to work with. I see a lot of videos online showing you what a good snare already sounds like, what a good kick already sounds like, and with a little bit of processing on it, it sounds immaculate. So that's how I was able to process these drums. I can also go into the kick, I could go into the hi-hats, I could go into the cymbals and show you what I did there. Just leave it in the comments and I'll have more videos for you guys in the future.